When love turns to betrayal, one secret can shatter a lifetime. Tonight, we uncover a story that began as a celebration of hope and ended in a tragedy that forever altered the lives of those involved. In a quiet Texas town, a wedding intended to unite two souls became the backdrop for an event that left scars too deep to heal. In the heart of Texas, a ceremony was held beneath an open sky that promised endless promise. The bride, known for her grace and quiet strength, stepped into a new chapter with a smile that masked a hidden sorrow. Alongside her, the groom exuded charm and confidence, yet behind his reassuring words lay undisclosed truths. Friends and family would later recall subtle moments of hesitation, a glance held too long, a pause before a reassuring smile, that hinted at a life lived in shadows. Even before vows were exchanged, an unspoken tension weaved its way through the gathering, setting the stage for a revelation that no one could have imagined. As the day unfolded, fragments of a hidden narrative began to surface. Discreet messages, unexplained phone calls, and hushed conversations started to paint a picture of a man leading two very different lives. Details, once dismissed as mere coincidences, slowly formed a disturbing mosaic. People who knew him recounted memories of whispered exchanges and quiet confessions among close friends, raising questions about the true nature of his promises. It became apparent that the man who stood at the altar carried a burden of secrets that would soon upend the lives of everyone present. Then came the moment that changed everything. In the midst of the ceremony, when every eye was fixed on the couple, the bride broke her silence. With a steady yet pained voice, she revealed evidence of an affair that had remained hidden for far too long. Her words, heavy with grief and determination, exposed a betrayal that went beyond personal deceit. It shattered the trust of a community and turned a day of union into one of public heartbreak. The confession was not just an accusation, it was a declaration that everything they had believed was built on a foundation of falsehoods. What followed was a series of events that no one could have foreseen. In the wake of that explosive revelation, emotions surged uncontrollably. A confrontation ensued, fueled by years of unspoken resentments and mounting despair. In a single, irreversible moment, a decision was made that ended a life and left a community reeling. The tragic act, carried out in the midst of what was meant to be a joyous celebration, created an atmosphere of shock and disbelief. The loss was not just personal, it was a wound felt by all who had come together in celebration, now united by grief and unanswered questions. In the days that followed, investigators painstakingly gathered every scrap of evidence in an effort to understand how events had escalated so dramatically. Detailed examinations of the scene, coupled with thoughtful interviews, began to piece together a narrative that was both complex and heart-wrenching. Witnesses recalled small details, a furtive conversation at the edge of the room, an unusual pause during the ceremony, that, when connected, revealed a man torn between two worlds. The investigation raised as many questions as it answered. How had a day meant to honor love turned into a catalyst for loss? Were the signs of betrayal visible long before that fateful moment, or did the truth only emerge under the unbearable weight of guilt? As more evidence came to light, a breakthrough emerged that forced a re-examination of every moment leading up to the tragedy. New findings cast fresh doubt on the official narrative, prompting experts to question the psychological forces at work. What drives a person to conceal a truth that ultimately consumes them? How do hidden conflicts and long-buried grievances erupt in such a dramatic and irreversible way? This new evidence compelled us to look beyond the surface, to question the inner workings of a mind capable of leading a double life. It is a reminder that the stories we think we know are often layered with complexities that challenge our understanding of trust and responsibility. Even as answers began to emerge, the full picture remained frustratingly incomplete. The investigation, while shedding light on many details, left lingering questions that continue to haunt those affected by the tragedy. The community, still searching for meaning in the wake of such a profound loss, found itself confronting uncomfortable truths about the nature of commitment and the devastating impact of secrets kept for too long. Every new piece of evidence only deepened the sense of loss and confusion, leaving a trail of unanswered questions that seemed destined to persist. As we reflect on the events of that day, a day that transformed a celebration of unity into a saga of heartbreak, we are reminded of the fragile nature of trust. The story of this Texas wedding is a testament to how the promises we make can be shattered by hidden truths. It serves as a somber reminder that beneath the surface of even the most idyllic moments, there can lie a narrative of betrayal and sorrow. Before we close, consider the lessons this tragedy offers. How do we safeguard our hearts in a world where the truth can be so elusive? What is the cost when secrets finally see the light of day? Your thoughts and insights are valuable. Share your perspective in the comments and join a conversation that seeks to understand not only what happened, but why it matters. Thank you for joining us on this journey of discovery and reflection. Stay with us as we continue to explore stories that challenge our perceptions and remind us of the profound impact of our choices. Remember to subscribe and keep the conversation alive. Picture a quiet Texas town where the bright, open sky masks the weight of unspoken secrets. This true crime documentary unfolds at a wedding that promised unity yet concealed a web of betrayal. The venue, framed by rustic charm and gentle hills, stood as a silent witness to a celebration that would soon turn into a tale of lost trust. From the first step down the aisle, the bride carried more than just hope for the future. Raised in a family that prized loyalty and commitment, her warm smile hid a lifetime of personal struggles and quiet disappointments. Her eyes, however, occasionally betrayed a depth of sorrow that suggested old wounds had never fully healed. Across the room, the groom's charm and confident manner masked a dual existence. Though he presented himself as devoted, rumors of a hidden affair began to circulate among close friends and family members, hinting at a life lived on two parallel tracks. In the days leading up to the event, unusual phone calls and a series of brief, unsettling conversations stirred doubts among those who cared. A casual remark here, a lingering look there, each small detail slowly painted a picture of a man caught between two worlds. Whispers of his secret quickly spread, leaving listeners to wonder whether the man they thought they knew was merely a facade. An unexplained figure seen near the venue only added to the growing list of questions. Who was this stranger, and what role did they play in the unfolding drama? Family ties and personal histories began to reveal a more complex narrative. The bride's relatives, known for their unwavering support, started noticing inconsistencies in the groom's stories. Friends recalled fragments of conversations that hinted at long-hidden grievances and financial irregularities. Every detail, no matter how small, contributed to an atmosphere thick with suspicion and fear of the unknown. A single text message left on an unanswered voicemail hinted at secrets too dangerous to reveal, setting off a countdown in the minds of those who followed every new clue. Each passing day before the wedding added weight to the mystery, with every whispered conversation serving as a reminder that not all was as it seemed. Could these early signs have predicted the unfolding catastrophe? The question lingered, open and unresolved. As the wedding day approached, the tension mounted like the steady ticking of a clock counting down to an inevitable confrontation. Friends and family exchanged worried glances, and subtle warnings went unheeded, leaving everyone on edge. The groom's casual reassurances did little to ease the growing anxiety, and the promise of a perfect day began to fade into uncertainty. Every moment, every smile, seemed to hide layers of deception waiting to be unraveled. This is a Texas crime story that challenges our understanding of trust and the cost of secrets. With each piece of evidence, a mysterious call, a furtive glance, an offhand comment, a puzzle began to form, setting the stage for the unexpected. In a tale where a hidden affair could unravel lives in the blink of an eye, every small detail counts. Stay tuned as we trace the origins of a series of events that led to an unimaginable tragedy, where the truth was shrouded in silence and every unanswered question deepened the mystery. Please note that this narrative is a work of fiction inspired by true crime documentaries. Any resemblance to real events or persons is entirely coincidental. A quiet confession from a trusted friend hints at a hidden life, a revelation that sets off a chain reaction of questions. A memory surfaces, a chance encounter at a local diner where the groom, with a fleeting glance, acknowledged a name he never mentioned before. That name, spoken in hushed tones among those who truly knew him, became the key to unlocking a secret affair that would redefine the narrative of this Texas wedding mystery. A series of flashbacks paints a startling picture. In one memory, the groom meets a woman in a secluded corner of a busy street, exchanging words that carry more weight than simple greetings. The conversation, now recalled by an eyewitness, hints at promises made in haste and vows broken before they were ever spoken aloud. A forged text message, discovered later by an anonymous source, reveals encrypted hints of clandestine meetings. The messages, appearing at odd hours, chronicle an affair marked by desperation and whispered confessions. A friend of the family recalls a moment when the groom's behavior shifted unexpectedly. "I noticed he would often check his phone, his eyes darting towards someone unseen, as if expecting a reply that would change everything," the friend confides. These accounts are not isolated. Other acquaintances provide similar fragments, stories of suspicious financial transactions and late-night phone calls that simply did not fit into the groom's carefully crafted narrative. The bride, though outwardly composed, carries an inner dialogue filled with doubt and heartache. Her thoughts reveal a growing tension, a mounting anxiety that questions every smile, every word exchanged in the weeks leading up to the wedding. How could someone so devoted harbor secrets so dark, she wonders silently, the question echoing like a countdown ticking in the background. Each new piece of evidence tightens the noose of uncertainty around what should have been a day of celebration. Documents later obtained by investigators add another layer to the story. Bank records show unusual withdrawals that coincide with the groom's secret meetings. A collection of shadowy photos, blurred yet telling, appear to capture him in moments of quiet intimacy with someone who was never meant to be part of the public eye. These pieces of evidence interlock to form a puzzle that challenges the official version of events, urging viewers to question who was really in control of the narrative. An interview with a longtime friend offers another twist. He always had a way of hiding his true self, a mask that would slip for just a moment, revealing something you never expected, the friend recalls. The voice of this witness leaves viewers wondering about the hidden truths behind familiar faces. The open loop is clear: if the groom could hide this side of himself, what else might have been concealed beneath layers of charm and apparent loyalty? As conflicting accounts emerge, a countdown begins, each minute stretching into an eternity as the evidence mounts. The tension is almost unbearable. What began as a series of small inconsistencies now builds into a full-scale investigation. Every unexplained call, every furtive glance, and every contradictory statement adds urgency to the unfolding mystery. The narrative pauses here, leaving questions that hang in the balance. Who was the mysterious stranger in the background? How deep did the groom's deception run? And more importantly, what drove a man to lead a double life that would ultimately threaten the very fabric of trust in a community that once believed in him? This Texas crime story, with its blend of documentary-style precision and a raw, emotional core, continues to unravel. In the next segment, more evidence surfaces and more voices step forward, each adding their own perspective to a case that refuses to be neatly resolved. Stay tuned as we piece together the next chapter in this unfolding tale of hidden lives and shattered promises. In the midst of what was meant to be a day of joy, everything unraveled when the bride stepped forward, her voice trembling with a mix of resolve and sorrow. "I cannot stand by any longer," she declared, her words cutting through the murmur of the ceremony. "I know the truth that has been hidden behind smiles and promises." A hush fell over the gathered guests. At that instant, the groom's confident mask crumbled into confusion and fear. "I can explain," he managed, his voice barely audible, as murmurs turned into a chorus of disbelief. Eyes widened, and whispered conversations erupted among friends and family. A tear rolled down a close relative's cheek as the gravity of the moment sank in. In a rapid succession of revelations, the bride detailed messages and secret meetings that left little doubt about his hidden affair. "I trusted you with my heart, and now that trust lies shattered on the floor," she continued, each word a blow to the carefully constructed illusion of their union. The crowd, caught between shock and sorrow, found itself gripped by a relentless tension. A bystander, voice trembling, murmured, "How did we miss this all along?" The seconds seemed to count down as the reality of betrayal set in. With every passing heartbeat, the sense of disbelief deepened. In the middle of the chaos, a shadowed figure moved through the crowd, a person whose presence raised another urgent question: who was this stranger, and what part did they play in the unfolding drama? As the confrontation escalated, emotions ran high. Accusations and desperate pleas for the truth filled the space where celebration once reigned. Guests exchanged troubled glances while some tried to restore order amid the confusion. Yet, every attempt at calm only deepened the mystery. The groom's explanations faltered, and the silence that followed each question left the room suspended in uncertainty. With the truth now out in the open, the audience was left with a single, burning question: what drove a man to lead a double life that would cost him everything? And as the echoes of that fateful confession faded, the appearance of the mysterious figure added another layer to an already complex puzzle. This Texas crime story, unfolding like a true crime documentary, refuses to settle with one answer. Each revelation opens another door to unanswered questions, leaving viewers on edge and craving the next piece of the puzzle. The chaos escalated in a heartbeat. One moment, words of betrayal filled the air; the next, anger and desperation sparked an unforeseen reaction. A heated exchange broke out near the altar as a distant relative shouted, "Enough! You've taken everything from us." The words cut through the murmurs of disbelief, and in that split second, tension reached a boiling point. Amid the uproar, a disputed object, one that had been hidden away until now, was suddenly thrust into the light. In the frenzy of accusations, a stray, deafening sound shattered the charged silence. A shot. One person collapsed instantly. Shock rippled through the crowd as time itself seemed to slow, every heartbeat marking the gravity of that fatal moment. Witnesses recalled a blur of motion and frantic cries. "What have you done?" someone cried out, voice cracking under the weight of sudden loss. The fatal decision, taken in an instant of overwhelming passion and betrayal, left an indelible mark on everyone present. Every whispered conversation now turned into a desperate quest for answers, as friends and family struggled to comprehend the irreversible act. The impact of that moment was immediate and profound. Eyes filled with tears and confusion, the guests struggled to process the unexpected turn. A question hung heavy in the air: was this the result of a momentary lapse, a spontaneous act of raw emotion? Or was it the final move in a calculated plan that had been unfolding in secret? As murmurs of uncertainty spread, another voice emerged from the crowd: "There's more to this than we know." A few witnesses recalled seeing a figure move away quietly, a shadow among the chaos. That fleeting glimpse left everyone wondering if someone else was manipulating events from behind the scenes. The unanswered questions intensified the distress of the moment, marking the beginning of an investigation that promised to unravel a web of hidden motives and unexplained actions. In the immediate aftermath, the scene was one of overwhelming sorrow and disbelief. Family members clutched each other in silent grief, while others exchanged looks that conveyed both horror and a lingering sense of betrayal. The atmosphere was charged with raw emotion as the gravity of the loss settled in. This Texas crime story, presented in a documentary style reminiscent of true crime narratives, now leaves us with one burning question: what truly led to that fatal moment, and who was behind the final, irreversible decision? Stay tuned as we explore the layers of this tragedy and attempt to piece together the mysteries that still haunt those left behind. In the aftermath of that fatal moment, investigators gathered every scrap of evidence, each one adding another layer to a puzzle that refused to be solved easily. Detective Carter remarked, "The clues we've collected leave us with more questions than answers. There's an unsettling gap between what we see and what we know." Forensic reports confirmed that the bullet was fired in a narrow window, and witness statements conflicted sharply on the sequence of events. Every detail, from unusual financial transfers to a deleted text message hinting at planned retaliation, forced the investigation to confront a web of hidden motives. Dr. Reed, a criminal psychologist familiar with Texas crime stories, observed, "The emotional response during the incident suggests this wasn't merely an impulsive outburst. The behavior hints at long-standing grievances that exploded in one fateful moment." His words opened another loop of inquiry. Was this a spontaneous crime of passion, or did someone orchestrate a calculated move masked by chaos? Financial records revealed irregular withdrawals on the day of the wedding, aligning with secret meetings the groom had arranged. The recovery of a deleted text message, its contents only partly visible, hinted at discussions that could suggest premeditation. Each piece of evidence, from forged documents to conflicting eyewitness accounts, intensified the mystery and left investigators racing against time. Guests' testimonies added to the confusion. One witness recalled a heated argument just before the shot, while another mentioned an unexpected figure disappearing into the crowd moments after the confrontation began. These discrepancies have set off an urgent countdown. Every minute brings us closer to uncovering whether the tragedy was fueled solely by personal betrayal or if a deeper conspiracy lurks behind the chaos. As experts re-examine the crime scene and question each detail, multiple theories emerge. Some believe that overwhelming emotional turmoil drove a man to commit an irreversible act, while others suggest that carefully hidden secrets may have been used to cover up a premeditated plot. Each unanswered question pushes us further into the heart of this Texas crime story, leaving one burning question: what truly set these events in motion? Stay with us as we continue to uncover the loose threads and unresolved mysteries that make this case as compelling as it is perplexing. A breakthrough arrives and investigators uncover a hidden email on the groom's old laptop. The message, unsigned and chilling in its tone, hints at an arrangement far more complex than anyone suspected. Detective Carter admits, this email suggests someone else had a hand in orchestrating that deadly moment. The anonymous note details plans and warnings that predate the wedding, casting doubt on the idea that the tragedy was simply a crime of passion. Dr. Reed, reviewing the evidence, explains, the evidence now paints a picture of manipulation and long-held grudges. The groom's actions were not merely impulsive, they were part of a larger, calculated plan that only now starts to reveal its true shape. His words force us to question, was the fatal act an isolated moment of betrayal, or did it serve as the climax to a carefully arranged setup? The final twist comes with a recorded conversation recovered from a hidden folder, a conversation between the groom and an unknown accomplice. In the recording, hushed voices discuss settling old scores and ensuring no one could expose their plans. A witness later recalls, "I never imagined someone so trusted could be involved in something so cold and methodical." This revelation shakes the entire narrative, leaving viewers with an urgent countdown to uncover every detail. Now, as the investigation re-examines every clue, from unusual financial withdrawals to conflicting testimonies, a lingering question remains: who was really behind the fatal moment? Was it the groom alone, or did a secret partner pull the strings? Every new piece of evidence turns the case on its head, forcing us to rethink what we believe to be true about this Texas wedding mystery. As we stand at this crossroads, the case refuses to offer a tidy conclusion. Some questions hang in the balance, inviting discussion and debate. What drove this tragic chain of events? Could deeper motives have been hidden all along? The mystery remains unsolved, leaving us with more questions than answers. Share your thoughts and theories below as we continue to search for the hidden truths behind this tragic betrayal. As the echoes of that fateful moment fade, we reflect on a day that forever altered lives. A single betrayal at a Texas wedding unraveled trust, exposing hidden affairs and unspoken resentments. In a heartbeat, secrets became the catalyst for tragedy, a woman's brave confrontation, a desperate man's irreversible decision, and a community left searching for answers. Every piece of evidence, from suspicious financial trails to conflicting witness statements, paints a picture of a crime that defies simple explanation. The clues force us to ask, what drove this chain of events? Was it raw heartbreak, a planned maneuver, or something else entirely? What do you think really happened? Share your theories in the comments below. Your insights could be the key to unlocking the next chapter in this Texas crime story. Before we close, know that our next investigation will explore another mysterious case, with new evidence and fresh questions that build on today's tragic narrative. More hidden truths and unexpected twists await. If you found this true crime documentary engaging, please like, subscribe, and click the notification bell for more suspenseful narratives. Please remember, this story is a work of fiction inspired by true crime storytelling techniques. Any resemblance to actual events or persons is entirely coincidental. We respect the victims and their families and strive to handle these narratives with care and integrity.